that he is comparing the figures from July to November this year, so from the general election to late in the autumn, in 2024, compared to July to November 2023. And I thought, hang on a minute, July to November 2023, what was happening then? Oh, there were a load of strikes. And Wes Streeting, he did admit there that this had something to do with people no longer being on the picket line, but he didn't really admit that this is basically the whole picture and the whole reason why there are magically 2 million more appointments. So I had a little bit look at some of the articles that were out at that time, and this is from October 2023. NHS leaders believe 2 million operations and appointments lost to strikes. What a surprise! It's the exact same figure as the number of appointments we've supposedly added to the NHS. Okay? Don't be fooled, ladies and gentlemen. All that has happened is that the NHS is back to normal compared to when people were striking. And now you might say, okay, the Labour Party, they deserve credit for stopping the strikes, but they are making it sound in this announcement today like they've already basically fixed the NHS and done a bunch of restructuring, okay? With these 2 million extra appointments that we supposedly now have, life is not really getting better, people. The waiting lists and everything, they're still way higher than pre-pandemic levels. We haven't really dealt with the chaos of all the backlogs that were caused by COVID, to be honest. So nothing's really changed. They have just chosen to compare their figures to the period when everyone was on strike, because that makes it look like they've achieved something huge. All that's changed is that doctors are not on strike. Don't be fooled. It's not that they're making it sound like their cash injections into the NHS are already taking effect, and we've got more doctors. The place is more efficient. No. Don't be fooled, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you might say 2 million because of the strikes. That sounds like a lot. We were told 1 million. You'll see at the bottom there it says as many as 2 million appointments, outpatient appointments and operations have been cancelled as a result of NHS strikes, which is double the official but total. That's what the hospital bosses believe. And why was that? Well, it's because they were not booking people in on strike days so that they wouldn't have to reschedule them. So it's not like there were bookings in place on the days when there were strikes. Well, there may have been some, but they did not actively, once they knew what the strikes days were, they did not book people in on those days. Hence, they did not appear as cancelled appointments. But they weren't booked in the first place when they would have been if there were not a strike now. Now, I cannot confirm for sure if that 2 million figure estimate that we got from The Guardian there is 100% accurate, but you've got to ask yourself, is it really possible that the Labour Party 7 months early have been able to start restructuring the NHS and turning it around and creating a whole load more appointments? Like, this stuff takes time, okay? I'm skeptical. And you heard Wes Streeting at the end of that clip on Sky News there, talking about how, fed up the public are with politicians not delivering on their word and not being trustworthy. Well, I'm sorry, but you've shown yourselves to be, deceiving the public and not really trustworthy with this big announcement you've made today about 2 million appointments. Okay, you can announce it, but actually tell people how it is, rather than conflate it and lie and pretend like you fixed the NHS when you haven't. Okay, just tell people we have got back to the level of appointments that there were before there were strikes. Like, we are back to non-striking levels of appointments. It's still shit, there's still a huge waiting list, but because we cancelled the strikes, we've now got this many appointments compared to before. Don't act like they're acting like something's changed, okay? And that we've now got a load more appointments. It's now going to be way easier than it ever was before to get an appointment on the NHS. No, you just compared it to a little period of time in 2023 when things were particularly bad because there was strike action. It's rubbish. They're trying to deceive you, okay? People have had enough of Labour. Everyone takes everything they say with a massive pinch of salt now because no one can trust them on anything. So don't be too impressed by them, is all I have to say. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Press the subscribe button below if you haven't already. See you next time.